I would like to show you how to add hymns to your sermon using my program, and for demonstration purposes we'll use that same fake little service that we have already prepared. Before I proceed, however, I'd like to just point out that there are some advantages to projecting your hymns using a computer. The first is that with traditional hymn books, people are singing with their heads facing down. Their voices are being projected towards the floor. Whereas if the hymns are up on the wall, naturally their heads are raised and their voices just come out, and the singing is automatically improved just by the simple fact of obliging people to lift their heads to read the words off the screen. The second advantage is that no matter how good the hymn book used by your church may be, it is obviously only a selection from the vast body of hymns that have been written over the years. There's wonderful hymns by Moody and Sankey, for example, that are hardly ever sung these days and do not appear in any modern hymn book. Whereas by having your hymns on the computer, you can pick out whatever hymns you like and project them on the screen for your congregation to sing. And, as well as that, even if the hymn is in your hymn book, it may only have a few of the verses written by the original author. I mean, Isaac Watts was notorious for his 18-verse hymns. Well, no hymn book these days is going to have 18 verses in it, so the editor has gone through and picked out the 3, 4, or even 5, if you're lucky, verses that he felt were most appropriate. But you may feel that there's one or more of the verses that really fits your subject for that day. So by having the hymns projected on the screen, you can add in or substitute these verses that you prefer for the ones chosen by the editor of the hymn book. All right, so with that in mind, let's turn to how to add hymns to your service. And we'll start off with the program open. We'll drag the service there, and that's it. You go to Tools, and there is a tool called Service Outline. The first thing it does is go through all the hymns on your computer hard drive, and then it fills in the details from your service. Now, there are a couple of presets, a 3 hymn, a 4 hymn, or there is the standard sort of service that comes with the program. We'll use the 3 hymn, which is the one most often used in my church. The chapels where I preach usually have a 4 hymn format. So we'll click there, and again everything is filled out fine. And then we click on the word hymn. Now don't click here in the box. For some reason that doesn't work. I blame Microsoft. Click here and then pick out a hymn. Now a good hymn to begin with is a hymn of praise, so we'll have All Hail the Power. You hold down Control, click on the name of the hymn, and it appears up here. Now our subject is salvation by faith. So what can we have? How about for our second hymn, the one just before the service, we have Behold What Manner of Love. Okay, that's a good modern one. And then to close with, we can scroll down. Obviously, if I was doing this for a real service, I'd take much more care over the hymns that I choose. We'll click on the 3rd hymn, and we'll have, what should we have? Crown Him with Many Crowns. There we go. Then you click on Create Sermon, and it asks you where to save it. It gives it a different file name, so you're not in danger of overwriting the file that containing your sermon. So we click on Save, and it instantly creates your service. Now you can see here, there you have the 1st hymn. We'll scroll down a bit. There you have the children's story, followed by the 2nd hymn, this fake little sermon, followed by the 3rd hymn. Okay, and to see what that looks like on screen, here we go. Now you can see there you have the splash screen, and then you have the hymn title, and immediately the music appears on screen. Now, for this first bit, you've got the word surrounded by a white rectangle. That's to indicate to you, because you're seeing this on your laptop, to indicate to you that the words are not yet displayed on the screen. So we go right one, and now that white rectangle disappears, and if we go back, you can see that the words are displayed on the screen. You go through all the verses, and when you get to the last verse, the surround turns red, a sign to you and to your organist, especially to your organist, that the final verse of the hymn has been reached. And then we can go through the scripture reading, the prayer, the offering, the children's story. We'll gallop through that, and the next hymn comes up. And again, the music is there for your convenience. All right, so that's how easy it is to add in the hymns. There's just one thing I should point out, and that is that the hymn has been named, but not yet, the service, I should say, has been named, but not yet saved. You need to click on Save, and you'll see the file appear. There it is. And you can close down the program, start it up again, and there it is, complete with your hymns. Now, it may be that you have preached this sermon, used this service in one of your churches, and now you want to preach it elsewhere where there is a for-hymn format. No problem. Go to Tools again, go to Service Outline. It fills out the details as you would expect. Click on For-Hymn, and you now have the opportunity to enter 4 hymns. And again, this is very useful. I preach in some churches where the congregation is very elderly and staid, and if the hymn isn't in Hymns Ancient and Modern, they don't want to know. And I have other places where I preach where the congregation is younger and more go ahead and with it, and if the hymns are in Ancient and Modern, they don't want to know. You know? So being able to change the hymns swiftly, rapidly, easily is a tremendous advantage and makes life much easier for me. So all the best, and God bless.